The most common question that I'm getting is, where do I start? I fully understand that beginning is overwhelming. Well, I would love to say, okay, first let's just go back to the basics. Let's start with the basics. The problem is you need to know what the basics are. Here are a couple book recommendations that I think would be absolutely perfect for people who are coming in with no prior knowledge or very little prior knowledge. Modern Guide to Witchcraft by Sky Alexander, okay? This is a mass-produced book. You can find it in Walmart and Barnes and Noble and maybe, TJ Maxx. That doesn't mean that there's not useful information in here. That has everything you need to know in it. Chapter 1 is what is witchcraft, magic and how it can help you, a concise history on witchcraft, the magical universe, elements of the witch's path, gods and goddesses. It covers everything, and it doesn't make it any less valuable just because it's, the trendy book, I guess. And what I like about it is that there's also a spell book that you can buy with it, and love spells, which are friendly love spells. They're not the kind of bad love spells that we warn against. Honestly, you don't even have to get all three, just the first one. It'll have the starter info that you need. When I first started witchcraft, I was 13 years old, and I started with this one. This is the Raymond Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft, and you'll hear witches, especially from the 90s, or who were Wiccan at one point, they call this the Big Blue Book. Everybody knows what that means. Again, it's Wiccan, but it has so much good information in it, and if you're interested in Wicca, this will give you a lot to go by. I still refer to this book to this day, but I'm not Wiccan. What I love about it, it's got things like the runic alphabets, the witches' alphabets. It teaches you how to cast a circle. It teaches you some protection magic and some chants and prayers. And it's structured like a lesson book. So, as you go through the chapters, you fill it out that way. I like it. I don't like the religion part of it that's Wicca so much. I don't like the coven thing and, the initiation thing and all that. But with every book in witchcraft, there are things you're going to have to take and leave, and that's just the way it is. And there's a book on protection reversal magic by Jason Miller. This is perfect. This is a perfect starter book. This will give you everything you need to know on protection magic. Don't get overworked about protection magic. It is important, but it is not like you have to do your protections before you do anything. We hear that online so much, and I'm sick of it. It's a part of the practice, okay? It's not anything to panic over. If you're interested in the correspondences and the planets and the candle colors and the days of the week, the Llewellyn's Complete Book of Correspondences. You'll never need another book. That's all the correspondences you're ever going to need. And then if you want spells, then this 5,000 Book of Spells Encyclopedia is really good. People will tell you online that this is a bad book, that this is full of cultural appropriation. Those people don't know how encyclopedias work, okay? Of course, this covers things from all different cultures. I would recommend staying within the realm of your own culture and not using any spells that are from practices that are closed. And what makes a closed practice is a practice that you have to be initiated into. So like a lot of the African traditions, Judaism is a closed practice. Catholicism is a closed practice. There's tons of things that you need initiation into. So if you're of European descent, maybe stick with the European type spells. And the author does a really good job of telling you too which ones are from which areas. So this one is super good. Knowledge is where you start. You do not have to, go out buy a bunch of stuff. You don't have to learn all the history. That comes later. You need the foundation first. And as far as spell work, that is not a huge part of a witch's practice, especially one who's been practicing for a really long time. It's just not the biggest part. And if you are interested in spell work and energy manipulation and things like that, I would suggest, again, starting with the very basics. Don't bother buying a bunch of colored candles and trying to figure out what the colors mean. Just use all white candles. You can use a white candle for anything. As far as herbs go, if you want to use herbs, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to, because herbs just amplify energy in a spell. They don't make or break the spell. So, stick with herbs that are in your kitchen or in your local vicinity if you want to collect herbs, or you don't need to be going and ordering special herbs from Tibet to do something. As tools, you don't need a ceremonial knife, you don't need a scrying bowl, you don't need any of that stuff. I would suggest for tools, if you're just beginning, get yourself some string or cord. kitchen string or any type of like woven rope. I would get white candles and with salt. Start with rosemary, thyme, basil, bay leaves. You're gonna want bay leaves. Get a nice little container that you can keep water in if you want to make moon water or something like that. Paper and pen is your best friend, honestly. It's a huge part of spell work is writing things down, and even if that's writing a petition for your spell, burning it, burying it, sticking it in a river. So you want candles, cord, paper, pen, books. That's how I would start. Don't get overwhelmed because it doesn't need to be overwhelming. Don't look at, where am I going to be 10 years from now? Don't look at people who've been practicing for a long time and think, oh, it's going to take me so long to get there. I'll tell you, I didn't know when I was going to get here until I was like here and in it for a long time. And then I looked back and I was like, oh, you don't know you're going there. You don't know when you get there. It's only when you look back that you realize you're there. So every single day, just look at yourself and know that you are one step ahead. It's okay to make mistakes. Be perfectly fine with that. You might try to call the corners in a spell if you want to, and you may call the wrong directions. You may stay in the wrong direction. You might use the wrong herbs or the wrong candle or say the wrong thing. That's okay. That's when you become aware and when you trial and error with spell work. But it's really just about expanding your awareness. So I would work on your awareness. I would work on getting the foundational basic knowledge and those foundational basic tools. That is where you start. I hope that helps.